Hello everyone, you welcome to this news on Equinoxe television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, an improvised explosive device kills a taxi driver in the chief town of the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, Boya. The explosive device was reportedly thrown into his vehicle by an unknown individual earlier today. And in Manikuba Village, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, indigents of Manikuba Village are angry over an administrative decision of the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, placing their village, which has been under the Bangem subdivision for decades, under another division in neighboring Mongo division, Littoral region of the Republic. Stay with us. A 33-year-old taxi driver has died in disturbing circumstances in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. He was killed by an improvised explosive device reportedly thrown into his vehicle by an unknown individual earlier today. Derek Jato files in details on Boya.
Suspected separatist fighters detonated a locally fabricated bomb in this car, matriculated Southwest 576 AD, at about 5 a.m. this Monday, November 8, 2021, here in Moleko, destroying the car back screen and almost all its interior. Unfortunately, the taxi driver by name Fuengang Boetele is not here to tell the story. The 33-year-old was confirmed dead shortly after the incident at the private hospital in Boya. This is the second time a bomb blast is being witnessed in Boya within a week, all taking place in a taxi. The first one was witnessed last Monday, and no life was lost, for the said taxi driver was fast enough to escape out of his car before the bomb detonated. At press time, the southwest capital city Boya was picking back its shape as the forces of law and order, on their part, immediately launched an investigation.
Those error indeed, because the competence of shaping administrative units come only from the President of the Republic. It doesn't go to any minister or even the Prime Minister hasn't that competence. And the decree of 92 remove all the villages that belong to Bangem subdivision from the Grand Meme in those days and place them in Bangem. They never remove any. The minister, who is a fervent supporter of President Paul Biya, cannot climb on his toe and do what we call in law a nuisance to the principle of legality. He cannot even do that, except he has been misinformed by his collaborator, whom presently I know him very well, and who does not even follow the colonial way of making administrative correspondences. It is quite that is even my son whom I carried. You can make a reference to Honorable Mr. Ngole Philip, whom I met him in his office and told him that this is my son, let him take care of that boy. And he did it. And that boy, anytime when something came up, he was showing that he was an alien and telling that he has a birth certificate. All his brothers and sisters all have birth certificate coming from the Bangem municipality. Yes, the problem is that I'll follow the normal procedure. We shall do what we call in French, recours gracieux préalable, to the minister, calling his attention. If the minister does not seem to see the error being done by his collaborator, we now proceed to what we call in administrative law, recours hiérarchique, because it's not his competence to remove a village from one subdivision to the order without any this thing. Now, presently, everybody in Mangwekan is at his teeth. It's me who has been cut. Subjects are mad. Everybody in the village, women were supposed to march to come to Bangem. That is why I came yesterday and went and told them to keep peace, because Cameroon is a country, a Republican law country. They cannot march until they see to either the administration or not. Luckily enough, the administrative officers of Bangem are very, very informed of this problem, and they have assured me yesterday that they are going to follow the matter scrupulously to bring peace to Mangwekan. And I will assure you that Mangwekan will remain a Republican village under Bangem subdivision. We are not prepared to be tossed around anyhow. We are within the Southwest region. We are within the Anglo-Saxon system of education. We are within the common law system of justice. We cannot now throw them. And that's why you see me, an elected son of Mangwekan. Not only am I a chief, not only am I an inspector d'etat, not only am I president of the Commission de Marché all over, I'm one of the pioneer regional councillors of Southwest, whereby I occupy an important post of president of committee in charge of health, population, youth, social affairs, and culture. So we know the president cannot allow that, because we are a fervent supporter of CPDM, and that's why you find me here in Bangem today, as I've always done, to come and support the CPDM, his leader.
That was Chief Atabi Emmanuel speaking there. He's a traditional ruler and one of the pioneer regional councillors of the Southwest region, speaking there on the issue in Mangwekan village in the Bangem subdivision. That village has been under the Bangem subdivision for decades, but has been placed under another subdivision in the Mongo Division Littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon, notably Melong, by a decision of the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji. And this issue is raising eyebrows in the Bangem, and more particularly in the Mangwekan village, where the population are protesting, and they had planned to storm the streets to protest against this decision of Minister Paul Atanganji. Now, for greater details, here's our next of Mesumbe Ambroise. He's the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM section president for Kupe Manikuba 1 and principal of GTHS Government Technical High School Bangem. He's an internal elite. Listen to him.
I am Mesumbe Ambrose, the principal of GTDC Bangem and an internal elite of Bangem subdivision. In fact, when we got that information yesterday, I didn't believe it, because Mangwekan from birth, I knew Mangwekan as a village under Bangem subdivision. We played football matches while in primary school in the years 1980, 1978, 1980s, and for no reason, we have never heard Mangwekan being part of Melong. So it looks embarrassing, but I think somebody must have lured the minister to an error, which I know the minister, with the level head that we know our minister is, he will get to the roots of that matter, and I think the right judgment will be given to the right person.
That was an internal elite of Bangem in the Kupe Manikuba Division, Southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, Mesumbe Ambroise, speaking there on that situation. And the people are hoping that the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, will intervene very soon to put an end to what they consider as an illegal decision taken by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji. Now to the northern regions of the Republic of Cameroon's Manjik and Gabriel talks about Charles Ekome talks about illegally imported goods intercepted by custom officials in that part of the country. His report
was done by a detachment of custom officials of Hal Commission 3 in Bay Subdivision, Adamawa region of Cameroon, after a tip-off.
Sunday the 31st of October 2021, our elements got the information that smugglers were leaving Nigeria to enter Ngaoundere. They were on motorbikes. So by 8 p.m., our informant told us that they were already beside us. So my elements left. They met them on the way. They had to seize about 10 of This is about 65 bikes.
And taken to their main office in the town of Nbi. At about 11 p.m. same day, the smugglers launched an attack on the custom office in an attempt to recover their goods.
Took away the goods that they had earlier seized, took everything away, destroyed our customs post. So we had to inform the DO of that locality, and then the DO had to react immediately by calling the gendarmes and the elements of the military.
An administrative and security intervention which enabled the custom officials to track down the traffickers and intercept the goods once again.
That was Fred for me, Armstrong Sander, reporting there, analyzing the 39 years of reign of the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, the politician of the opposition, notably the National President of the Popular Action Party. Jang Dennis says very little or nothing has been done to improve on the living conditions of the population, both in the socio-economic as well as in the political life of the nation. Rather, on the other hand, the politician of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM political party, Professor Elvis Ngole, who is also a political scientist, says the New Deal government of President Paul Biya has done a lot and continues to do a lot to improve on the well-being of Cameroonians. They were speaking to The Insight over the weekend.
Some Cameroonians on November 6th celebrated the 39th anniversary of President Paul Biya's New Deal government. Others think it was a waste of time celebrating a barren tree.
After that 39 years that we are today, everything, we are into a chaos, total chaos. Cameroon is like 39 years backwards, not even 39 years forward. So if you look at almost all the sector, there is problem.
Values of rigor and moralization the New Deal government bore, according to Jang Dennis of the PAP, are yet to be felt in the present Cameroon, where all sorts of ills dominate.
There was a book that you said there was moralization, integrity, rigor, and all the like. It is a total opposite of it. Where is the rigor? Moralization is totally a mess. We know that of the moral, Cameroon is one of the countries where moral decadence is at the marrow.
To a CPDM pillar, Professor Elvis Ngole, all has been well in Cameroon since President Paul Biya came to power.
The last 39 years have been positive in terms of achievements, in terms of where the society is going, because the society has opened up. Proof is that, unlike 39 years ago, the society has become so open and so liberal and liberalized. Institutions have been created. A lot of people who are doing bad things are also being prosecuted. Men and women have been put in place. Laws have been put in place within the framework of the New Deal.
Reacting to the question if Cameroon's economic situation is sound and corruption being eradicated by the New Deal done, Jang Dennis says,
if we had a leader with a vision, it should be an emerging nation, because there is nothing that Cameroon lacks. He has touched everywhere in the constitution that will protect his stay in power. But the one that he knows he will use as a tool to fight and to maintain his grip. Article 66 says declaration of asset. Unfortunately, he has blocked that article till date. It is not being implemented. Those are institutions that are there to protect his power, to serve the whims and caprices of President Biya himself.
Professor Elvis Ngole, on his part, says
economic programs have been put in place to reduce extreme poverty. At least Cameroon has been resilient in terms of its economic management, and lots of young people have been recruited, knowing very well that unemployment rate is affecting young people a lot. What matters with the New Deal spirit, let us in all freedom keep on doing and working on improving the conditions of Cameroonians, and those who are misbehaving, we should find a way together.
Professor Elvis Ngole says these are merely challenges the New Deal government faces, but relentlessly strive to bury them for the welfare of Cameroonians and prosperity of the nation.
In news out of the Republic of Cameroon, the president of Sierra Leone has declared 3 days of national mourning after a fuel tanker explosion killed more than 100 people at the weekend, while the West Africa regional bloc ECOWAS has imposed sanctions on Mali's transitional leaders and their families. Charles Ekome has more.
Sierra Leonean President Julius Maada has declared 3 days of national mourning after a fuel tanker explosion on Friday killed more than 100 people. Julius Maada said the country must learn from the incident, adding that those injured will be given free treatment. He said he was setting up a task force to look into the incident and make recommendations on how to avoid this happening again. Today, Monday, flags were flown at half-mast to remember the victims. At least 101 people died and about 100 others were injured when the tanker blew up after colliding with another truck in the capital, Freetown. Sierra Leone has suffered a number of recent tragedies. In March, more than 80 people were injured in a fire that swept through one of Freetown's slums, displacing more than 5,000 residents. In West Africa, the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS has imposed sanctions against Mali's transitional leaders and their families. The sanctions range from travel bans to a freeze of their financial assets. It follows their failure to adhere to the timetable of returning the country to constitutional rule by February next year. ECOWAS said that the Malian authorities had informed them of their inability to meet the transition deadline of holding elections. The regional grouping had lifted economic sanctions imposed on the country following the coup last year after the military junta promised an 18-month transition process. ECOWAS will be considering further sanctions next month if there has still been no progress towards elections in Mali. Mali has witnessed 2 coups last year and is in the grip of a jihadist insurgency.
Charles Ekome ending the first part of this newscast. Coming up next, Talking Point. Unfortunately, due to some technical reasons, we're not going to have Talking Point today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today's edition of the 6 p.m. newscast. Goodbye.
Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte.